To remove and install the rear upper A-arm on your Ranger XP Kinetic, follow these steps. Park the vehicle on a flat level surface. Ensure it is in park, and remove the key. Next, remove the wheel from the vehicle. Begin by loosening the lug nuts while the vehicle is on the ground, but do not remove at this time. Then, safely elevate the vehicle. Reference your owner's manual for proper lifting techniques. Once safely elevated, remove and retain the lug nuts and set aside. Then, remove the wheel and set aside. Next, drill the 3 brake line rivets out of the upper A-arm to free the arm from the brake line. Drilling with light pressure and high rotational speed will help prevent the rivet from spinning. Use care to avoid damaging the brake line during this process. Next, remove the upper nut and bushing from the stabilizer bar link. Once removed, repeat this process for the remaining stabilizer bar link. Then, carefully pivot the stabilizer bar up to remove the links from the bar. Note that the links will be under light tension when removing and may spring outwards. Next, remove the lower shock fastener and discard the nut. Then, remove the upper bearing carrier fastener, nut, and washer. Discard the nut. Next, remove the upper A-arm fasteners, nuts, and washers. Discard the nuts. Then, carefully position the brake line around the A-arm mount. This will help prevent damage to the line when removing the A-arm. Continue by maneuvering the arm underneath the brake line and shock to remove from the vehicle. If reusing the A-arm, thoroughly clean with a shop rag before reinstalling. Next, inspect the A-arm bushings and pivot tubes for damage or wear and replace as necessary. When reinstalling the bushings, ensure the tapered side is facing outwards. Also, ensure the control arm bushings are fully installed inside the arm before installing the pivot seals. Next, pivot the arm into place, ensuring the stabilizer bar link runs through the center of the A-arm. Then, pivot the arm down and route the shock assembly through the center. Continue by carefully repositioning the brake line in front of the stabilizer bar linkage and the upper A-arm. Once installed, reinstall the fasteners and washers into the arm from the rear of the vehicle, and secure with the previously removed washers and new nuts. Then, align the A-arm with the mounting holes on the bearing carrier and reinstall the previously removed fastener and washer from the front of the vehicle. Secure with the previously removed washer and a new nut. Before continuing, inspect the lower shock bushing for wear or damage and replace if necessary. Also, inspect the stabilizer bar linkage bushings for wear or damage and replace if necessary. Continue by aligning the shock with the A-arm and reinstall the fastener from the rear of the vehicle. Then, secure the fastener with a new nut. Next, align both stabilizer bar links with the stabilizer bar at the same time, and lower the stabilizer bar onto the links. Note that the stabilizer bar links will be under light tension. Then, reinstall both upper bar link bushings with nuts onto the stabilizer links. Next, torque the rear A-arm fasteners to specification. Then, torque the bearing carrier fastener to specification. Continue by torquing the shock fastener to specification. Then, torque the upper stabilizer bar link nuts to specification on each side of the vehicle. Next, insert the brake line bracket retention point into the mounting hole and secure the bracket with a new rivet. Then, repeat this process for the remaining brake line brackets. Next, install the wheel on the vehicle and tighten the lug nuts until fully seated. Once installed, safely lower the vehicle until the tires begin to touch the ground. This will help keep the wheels in place when torquing. Once lowered, torque the lug nuts to specification in a crisscross pattern. Finally, lower the vehicle completely. For more information, see your authorized Polaris dealer or visit Polaris.com.